Well, actually, I mean, I'm glad you raised that, Digby, because I'm sure Donald Trump is watching Fox News to see how his overtures to North Korea are playing. And here is Donald Trump's chief advisor, or one of his chief advisors, I guess. It's been reported. Sean Hannity on Fox News. This is where he is actually delivering the news.
All right, the media liberals, they're looking like complete fools tonight because they are once again turning out to be completely wrong about President Trump. The commander-in-chief's leadership is now leading to a major foreign policy breakthrough as it relates to North Korea. This is what we call peace through strength in action. The president is causing little rocket man to back down. Now, it's something that President Barack Obama, other presidents all failed to do. Now, President Trump's tough words, his actions, are now starting to yield positive results, and hopefully this will end in the protection of America and, of course, the world and the region in particular. Now, Trump's extremely tough sanctions, they have now backed Kim Jong Un into a corner. He was forced to capitulate. Now, it's a long way to go. We've got to be cautious, trust but verify, but meeting with Kim Jong Un under the pretense that he will stop all nuclear missile testing, this is a good start.
Did he say the pretense?
Wow. You know, I mean, it's unbelievable. Somebody should go back and see what Sean Hannity had to say about previous.
Oh, yeah, there's no doubt in my mind. Wait a second. I want to pull that back up. I want to see that last line because I think he accidentally basically just gave up the ghost here as to what Kim Jong Un is doing. I'm quite convinced he just said here he's going to meet with Donald Trump under the pretense that he's going to give up. Here we go.
It's extremely tough sanctions. They have now backed Kim Jong Un into a corner. He was forced to capitulate. Now, it's a long way to go. We've got to be cautious, trust but verify, but meeting with Kim Jong Un under the pretense that he will stop all nuclear missile testing, this is a good start.
Right. I think Sean Hannity has nailed it.
Yeah, I think so. That's what you call what do they call it? A Kinsley gaffe?
Yeah, exactly.
Where someone accidentally tells the truth.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
The subtext is the text in this instance. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people I think who seem to be concerned, and hopefully it's something positive coming, but that. There's nothing. It's highly unlikely that Kim Jong Un says, "Okay, we've met now. Now I'm going to stop. Testing these things." It seems highly unlikely. But like you say, Donald Trump is going to be heading into this meeting with no sense of how he's going to be used, and what this does in terms of allowing China to basically say we're going to back off any type of sanctions because look at the level of reasonableness that we're seeing now. And, it's one thing to sanction these guys to bring them to the table, but they're at the table. They're not, they're eating maybe a different food and maybe they're playing cards instead of having dinner, but they're at the table. And so again, this is all speculation, but there's concern that this is really just sort of an exit strategy for China, and then if China exits, this sort of the at least the rhetorical and the performative isolation of North Korea, then there will be no checks on North Korea going forward. So I guess there's a lot to be lost here. There's a lot to be gained. But again, you have to bet on the Trump administration, which seems to be woefully inadequate in terms of the task.
Well, of course it's woefully inadequate. You're being very kind in putting it that way.
Well, it's
They're
Casual Friday.
Morons.
I don't want to.
I mean,
let's
face it. I mean, look, this is, like I said, and I keep saying it, something good could come of it because the situation is putting us in, you can flip a coin, you can just, pray. I mean, whatever it is that you hope for, might happen just out of pure coincidence. But the idea that Trump is going to meet with Kim Jong Un and they're going to have some meeting of the minds and Kim is going to, decide that it's really in his best interest to get rid of all of his nuclear weapons, and by the way, it allows the people in to inspect the entire country and make sure, because of course that would have to be part of it, and that that suddenly he just has a complete change of heart, is totally and completely moved by something that Donald Trump said to him, and does all this. I mean, I guess it's theoretically possible, but let's just say it's unlikely.
Yeah, I mean, it really does make you wonder if these guys are just like, oh, somebody got to Kim Jong Un and said, you realize you can totally play this guy.
Of course. He
right?
may have just seen it. I mean, he watches, TV. He can see how easily, or watches what Trump's behavior in China. And look at it this way, too. I mean, and you and I have talked about this before. One of the things that Kim has seen, and he's not the only one in the world, has seen that if you do give up your nuclear weapons, if you negotiate in good faith on that level, what happens is the United States invades your country. That's the lesson of the last few years, from Iraq, Libya. I think that Kim has probably noticed that. And I think that it makes it, this isn't just Trump's fault. This is the United States' fault, right? I mean, we did this thing. And now the lesson is clear to someone like Kim. He's not ignorant. I mean, he's, people look at him and think, well, this guy's, he's a little, intellectually undeveloped or something. But I don't think that's true. I mean, I don't think he's an idiot, and I think he can see, and that's why he's been doing what he's doing. And he looked at Trump's behavior in China. He probably is very well aware that the dotard is completely incapable of doing anything, and he has no intention of giving up his nuclear weapons. I guess that's what I'm saying. That's not going to happen. So, and Trump apparently has no intention of trying to work on some containment strategy. He wants, it's all or nothing. So I don't know where that goes,
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how much panic there is within the administration, or within, I should say, maybe the State Department between now and then, right? I mean, we've seen Tillerson already coming out and saying like they're talks, not negotiations. We're not really
a little chat.
We're not fully at negotiations. And you imagine the people bringing the briefing book to Donald Trump, and having spent 5, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years of their career, sending stuff up the pipeline to the president in terms of like intel and understanding of North Korea, and handing it to this dude, and him just looking at it going like, there's no pictures, so I don't know what it says, is a little bit terrifying. But I guess hope springs eternal.
Yeah.